What it is, what it do, what it is, lads and ladettes. It's your boy Dakota Griswold of Gamers, Nerds, and Geeks United. Welcome back to Yesterday Today. This is the show where I bring you some of the biggest gaming news you may have missed from yesterday, today. And well, let's jump right into the appetizers here. Well, Spellbreak. It's officially launching soon on consoles, but it's officially coming out of beta, of course. It's going to be cross-progression and cross-play, and all you're doing is basically making an account online and they carry everything over. And well, I'm really interested in Spellbreak. I'm not into the battle royale thing, but Spellbreak actually looks pretty fun. And I could only imagine with all of the customization options and stuff like that. So I'm very interested in that. And anybody watching this, let me know if you've seen it and if it's any good at all. So let's jump right into this. PlayStation has announced that there is a new state of play this week on August 6th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time and 1 p.m. Pacific Time. They will be focusing on PS4 titles, some PS5 and PSVR. There's just gonna get some updates on the PS5 stuff. I don't think there's gonna be anything new here, but it's just the fact that they might announce some other stuff going into next generation. Maybe there's something big happening here, because why are they still highlighting PS4 and PSVR when all the hype is toward the PS5 right now? Is there something that might be cross-generational that's going to work with them, or is this some big plan or something like that? Because Xbox, they've been doing their thing with the whole Game Pass. I feel like maybe Sony has something in the works like that probably can't be combated against that can probably combat with Game Pass. I'm wondering what is going on here. Why PS4 and PSVR? Let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. But also on the PS4, well, the controller at least, they will work on the PS5, but only for compatible PS4 games. And well, while the PS4 controller, now it's a bit of a letdown for some, not for me really, but the PS4 games that you can play on it, fine. It can't be compatible, which makes this is what makes sense here. It's not compatible with PS5 games because they want the controller. They want developers to use the new controller in mind because it has haptic feedback and stuff like that. When you play something like Bugsnax, for example, which I've reported on a couple months ago, you can feel the difference of terrain on the controller. So, they want you to take advantage of stuff like that, and whoever else knows how the controller might interact. But at least you still get to keep your controllers from last gen, let it carry over to next gen, and maybe carry on some games that you didn't finish from last gen onto next gen, and some of the dull moments, and you can finish it there. Doesn't sound bad. Now, also, Fall Guys comes out today. It's out right now. And the new colorful Battle Royale game is out. Now, if you pre-ordered it, here's something interesting. It's out on both PS4 and Steam, but if you pre-ordered it on Steam, well, this is kind of obvious. You get a character, Gordon Freeman. This is kind of the year for Half-Life. Now, we got Alex back in March, I want to say, and now we get a Gordon Freeman skin inside this new Battle Royale game. So I really wish he was on the PS4 version, which would be cool, but hey, it's all good. I hope you Steam players enjoy it. But yeah, that's kind of cool. What else might we see? They haven't really told us that they was working on anything, but maybe we getting Half-Life Alex on PSVR. Maybe. That'd be nice. Honestly, if we get that, that's going to be the one I'm going to pick the PSVR up for, because the game looks absolutely awesome. I do have my PSVR, but I haven't played it in a while. I just haven't had any real interest to it. But I tell you one thing, if Half-Life Alex comes to the PSVR, I'm on it, like white on rice. All right then, lads and ladettes, let's jump into the meat and potatoes of it all. And first, we're starting with, it doesn't appear that maybe indie developers aren't really selling a lot on the PS4. Developer Mike Rose from No More Robots Games developed Nowhere Project, which was recently released on the Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PC. And he basically said, finally had our first PS4 launch last week. If you're wondering whether smaller games sell on PS4 right now, our opening weekend sales on PS4 were 5% of our Nintendo Switch opening weekend sales. Haha. AKA barely sold anything at all on the PS4. So now we've known that the indies usually sell a lot on the Nintendo Switch. I know for one, I am definitely a person that does that. If I see an indie on sale and I was even a little bit curious about it and it's on sale for a pretty good price, I'm buying it just to support the small developer, just support the small guys. And if I feel like it's a pretty decent game and I want more, well, guess who's gonna buy this game? Guess who's gonna want to get them to make more games? So I do know that it was originally on Xbox. They used to make this big deal about it when they used to have the Xbox Live Arcade and there was the smaller games on there for a while. So I remember that, and that's when I really fell in love with indie games. But now the Nintendo Switch changes the game, absolutely. So I'm really hoping that things get it together, and for those PS4 owners, go ahead, it's okay. Every game doesn't have to be $60. Every game doesn't have to be $50, $60, $70, $80, special editions and all that. Some people don't have the big budget to make these games. It's very expensive to make a video game. So sometimes when you have a dream and you want to make a game, you have to go with the budget that you are granted, and that is where you get these indie developers from. So I definitely suggest that you should support it. No Way Project, it's not my cup of tea, but I do support tons and tons of indie games. Hyper Light Drifter, for one, is my absolute favorite indie game of all time. Between that and Shadow Complex. Now, some of y'all might know what Shadow Complex is. It was on PS3 360, and I do believe it was remastered and re-released for the PS4 and Xbox One. So that's definitely a very, very great game. Hyper Light Drifter as well. Very phenomenal game, Zelda-like game, top down, but they also have guns. And it's actually kind of skill-based because you could dodge around. It's awesome. And I really suggest that you people, you lads and ladettes, definitely jump in to some indie games. Now, here's a big deal here, right? Square Enix, the Avengers game that they putting out, yeah, so it's coming out to all systems, but Spider-Man is exclusive to PS4. I'm gonna give y'all a second. Spider-Man is only exclusive to PS4, and I don't think that's a good look. And looking around the internet, people from The Verge and people on Twitter are enraged that it's not fair because Spider-Man was on Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the Nintendo Switch. Why is he only exclusive to PS4? Well, it appears that they only want him on a scale like that on the PS4. That's gonna suck for a lot of people who only have Xbox, who don't have PlayStation, who didn't have plans on playing PlayStation. I'm really wondering, what about when this game, possibly becomes cross-play across all systems next generation? What happens then? Is Spider-Man still then only locked to PS4? What of it? I don't understand. Why make this an exclusive character? This seemed like a really a businessy type move from how it was back in the day. Remember when Soul Calibur came out? I think it was Soul Calibur 3, I want to say, when you got Link and Heihachi and Spawn. The Spawn version was cool, but of course the definitive version was it on the GameCube, and that was with my boy Link. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nah, I don't really know this is a good look, and it really didn't seem like a lot of people were too happy about it on them internets, and I'm definitely not happy about it. But I'll definitely probably, if I am planning on getting it, the PS4 version, because I do want to play Spider-Man. But what do you do in this situation? Do you just not buy it, or do you do you boycott and tell them, listen, release Spider-Man on Xbox? That'll be something. Hashtag release Spider-Man on the Xbox One version. That would be really insane. But I empathize with the people who do want to play it on Xbox, because while I do play a lot of my multiplayer games on Xbox, and I got a little bit of a squad, I'm not sure that a lot of people will be playing this with me, so I'm not the guy to speak about this. I don't know anybody that's excited about this game. I'm not even super excited about this game. I'm remotely interested, if that's the proper term, but I'm not really, really excited. So let's hear about this as the story develops. Moving on now. And now we all know the Analog Pocket came out, and it sold out in 15 minutes. People online, as well as other YouTubers, were absolutely upset. Because, what did y'all make, 10 in the black, 10 in the white or something? What's going on? Why did it sell out in 15 minutes? And then, of course, you got these scalpers online selling it for 3 times its value, twice its value, I should say, already. So basically, if you wanted the analog pocket plus the dock, that was about $300, I want to say. Yes, that was about $300. Or somebody's already on eBay selling it for $600. Now, these are very high-end devices. Analog makes very good quality stuff. But as far on the businessy side, this is a little curious. If you know people are going to buy your stuff, and you know people are expecting to buy your stuff, sorry about that, lads and ladettes, and you're very aware of it. You see all the rave on the internet. I'm sure you've been paying attention to that. Why did it sell out in 15 minutes? Don't try to give people a second wave of the same product. Just foresee what you're doing here. Foresee what's happening and just be like, okay, this is all the traffic. The system's not coming out until March of next year. And it's sold out in 15 minutes. How many copies were y'all expecting to sell? 500, 700 to 1,000? What? A lot of people definitely want this, even though it's expensive. Even though the Ps5 is coming out this year, even though the Xbox Series X is coming out this year with a lot of big games, people still want your $300 system. Why only make a few of them? I'm very curious about that. Moving on to the next story, and well, this is a funny one. Craig, right? The brute that they showed in the Halo Infinite trailer, his name is Craig the Brute. Well, a guy named Tim Dog tweeted at Phil Spencer. He said, "What's your take on Craig?" He said, "Our new official Xbox mascot," with a smiley emoji. "Love the community and their ability just to take something fun and run with it." Absolutely, because it was hilarious. It instantly became memes. It instantly became funny because it was, I guess a lot of people didn't like the art style once again, yes. But it is still a very early build. But if this is early and they changed the art style, I wonder how much polish everything could really have. I'm still curious about it. But this here is funny. And I love how Phil Spencer has a great sense of humor and how he just kind of rolls with the punches. Now, let's continue to stay on Microsoft, right? So basically, Microsoft, they revealed the Xbox, they changed the Xbox Game Store. It looks absolutely awesome. More organized, more clean, more smooth. And I really just think that they was just getting ready for it. I have no idea why I'm having this issue here, but they were just getting ready for it, the next gen, because they wanted to look clean, smooth, and have no issues, right? Because I know for a while, the Xbox One, I didn't really like the UI. I didn't really like the way it operated. It gave me some difficulties, but I still think the Xbox One is a great system, just with a terrible library. But this new store actually looks pretty awesome. And if we're going to continue to talk about Xbox, it looks like people Xbox heard you. You know that annoying Series X badge that was on certain cases that was available for both systems? Yeah, they took it off. Microsoft listened to feedback as tweeted by Daniel Ahmed just yesterday. Yeah, a lot of people, including me, including a bunch of other YouTubers and Twitterers? What do you say about that? Tweeters? Yeah, whatever. A lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people in the social media community, they just was not feeling that logo. And they were hoping that it was a sticker that you could peel off. But Microsoft said, no, don't worry. We'll fix that for you. So now it just says Xbox at the top, and on a black outline it says Xbox Series X and Xbox One as well. So glad to know that Microsoft is really listening to us. Hopefully they'll listen to the community on Halo, see what that's going on there. And wow, this is funny. And even though Ps5, just right around the time, and I got to give credits to Spawnwave, he said, Microsoft with the timely tweet, Ps4 controllers will only work on the Ps5 for Ps4 games. And Xbox UK, they tweeted out straight up, Xbox Series X is backwards compatible with all Xbox One controllers across all games. Official Xbox controllers, Xbox adaptive controllers, Xbox Elite wireless controllers, Scuff controllers. And Scuff is that little small developer who makes some really strong, really tough controllers. And this is hilarious to me. They said that the same day the news came out that PS4 controllers only will be working for the PS5. Now, the new Xbox controller looks fine, and this is like, yo, we're doing something different. But I can't wait. I love that new PS5 controller. You know, the Xbox controller was perfect all the way at the 360 era, and basically, they didn't change it too much. They done mess with it, you know. Don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're gonna sit there, you're gonna edit it, throw rubber grips on there, make sure it doesn't fall out of people's hands. You modify the triggers, do whatever you gotta do to make it a better experience. So once again, Microsoft with the timely tweet, and it's honestly hilarious. But lads and ladders, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below what you think about indie developers not making a lot of money on the PS4. Do you play indies at all? What do you think about that? And maybe you're interested in some of the games that I suggested. What do you think about Spider-Man possibly being exclusive? Yes, I confirmed it. Exclusive to the PS4, because I definitely reported on that, and this is still very, very trippy to me. What do you think about the analog? Were you one of the ones trying to get the analog pocket and you didn't get luck? Because there was a point where there were people who were trying to put it in their cart and then they couldn't check out. Very sorry to hear about that, lads and ladders. But please, before you leave, go ahead and hit the like button. It helps out. If not, hit the dislike. And this video is finito.